Welcome to Canadian Tire Motorsport Park for the opening round of WTSS Season 7. It's been a long off-season. Many different team and driver changes have come upon us. The grid has been sliced in half. Those who were not interested in returning did not, and the mainstay teams who were willing to push through and stay with us are here. There's a few new faces upon us. There were 11 rookie drivers who showed up to the rookie shootout. They put on a great show, and it was Alex Constantine in the 64 who took the victory in absolute domination from 9th on the grid in an 11-car field. And now we enter the opening round, the crown jewel event of the WTSS, Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, 82 laps, 200 miles here in Bowmanville, Canada. And first out onto the racetrack, one of the rookies absolutely striving for improvement, Jake Stevens. Probably struggled the hardest of any driver out there during the rookie shootout. Finished dead last by a mile. Got lapped so early on. He was the first one to say after the race that he needs to improve and he needs to adapt quicker. His other teammates battled for a top 3 that day. All eyes are on Stevens if his road racing abilities from touring cars can transfer over and help him get a better grips with the stock car program at Rokit Atkinson. There's another rookie alongside of him, Cale Teskar Jr. He was in Harley-Davidson colors for the rookie shootout. He's trying to get a move on, and it looks like he's gotten his tires way better up to temp than Stevens. And in this DeWalt Toyota Supra, he is already taking to the track for the first push lap of the season. There's another rookie hoping for more. Daniel Giroux blew the engine 35 laps into a 100-lap shootout for the rookie shootout. Literally, basically got zero data. Got a 10-minute qualifying session and less than half of an already half-length race. So he's definitely going to be, this whole qualifying session, this whole 15-minute session is going to be a learning experience for him. For sure.
It's going to be a learning experience for quite a few of these drivers.
Some of these drivers have never turned laps on a road course in a stock car. Allison Figueroa, one of those, coming up from the short track ranks. Some of these drivers have never turned a lap around Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, like the Rokit Atkinson drivers, Sebastian Van Dalen, Shanarong Wangsawat, and Jake Stevens. We already have some times on the board, but they're not representative times. Those are people that left the pits, crossed the start-finish line from their pit stalls, and then got to finish the lap. The first real timed lap on the board is Teskar with an 18.9, 1.2 seconds quicker than anybody else who so far has finished a push lap of the 4 people who have. There is Chris Dodd, Season 5 WTSS champion. All 6 WTSS champions are on the grid with us for this opening race, Dodd being one of them. Sean Angel, one of a few home heroes in this field, in the 58. Canada has always played host to the opening round of WTSS, and ever since Season 1, when Tristan Wilhoit stole the victory on the last lap from Fernando Van Dorn, ever since then, it has never left the host race of the season opener. To the top of the board briefly went Daniel Voiles, then briefly went Tristan Wilhoit, and now to the top is William Duncan, carrying new sponsorship, the Beast Unleashed, Monster Energy's hard alcohol drink. A big departure from driving for Roush Racing Enterprises and being sponsored by Nihon Falcom for all those seasons, and Bad Boy Mowers. None of those sponsors have come over to Maverick Motorsports with Duncan this season, as they've made the transition to being a Subaru team, completely axing the support from Roush Racing Enterprises, as back to the top goes the 26 of Cale Teskar Jr. Now, as these laps go on, the first 3 or 4 laps are the crucial laps. The tires have not worn yet, per se, but they're also still generating temperature. And those first few laps are really going to be the important ones, because once you pass that 4 or 5 lap threshold, you're going to start wearing the tires and losing performance out of them. But while the tires are getting up to temp, you absolutely need to maximize the amount that you are getting out of the tires in those first 4 laps. Test car quickest at the moment, ahead of Jake Stevens, but they are just one of a couple drivers. There's just a couple drivers who've actually done 2 push laps so far, so a lot of these guys still trying to put times on the board. We're still waiting from a couple drivers to now put times on the board. Alex Bignacco still has yet to. He just did. Goes 22nd quickest. In other former champions in the field, I guess we can introduce the rest of them. There's Brandon Krasta, your Season 1 champion, who, just like many before him, stole the championship in the final race of the season from Ryan Bolden after a late crash. Took out the 7 from 2nd place at Bathurst in that opening season. Immediately, Wilhoit back up to the top, and then Teskar and Stevens finish their second. Daniel Giroux to the top of the board, 1:18.221. A driver who was not looking forward to doing any sort of road racing at all, and said that he had not seen promising signs in the simulator. Obviously, his team boss, Alex Bignacco, saw more, because Giroux to the top of the board on only his 2nd push lap of his qualifying in CTMP. But immediately, Chris Dodd, somebody who has shown so much pace through the first 6 seasons of this series, back up to the top with a 1:18.105.
Van Dalen also in 2nd now.
Yeah, Sebastian Van Dalen, one of the bright up-and-coming touring car drivers over in Europe, making the surprise jump over to America and stock cars. Yuki Tamura has had a catastrophic tire failure and has come to a stop on the side of the racetrack. And after only a wheel failure, not a tire failure, a wheel failure. And the 60 car, her debut for Roush Racing Enterprises, her qualifying has already been hampered slightly. She's gonna have to get they're gonna have to get her back to the pits quickly, figure out what's wrong, and see if they have any time to send her back out. Anyways, Krasta, the Season 1 champion. Our Season 2 champion, Hu Jian, as she will now be known as. A disservice that she was known as Ji Yeon Hu for the first 6 seasons. The Season 2 champion, in quite controversial fashion, Tristan Wilhoit entered as the championship leader, but got wiped out in the first corner of the first lap at the championship finale by Daniel Voiles, who started on the front row with him. Probably the most fireworks we've ever seen after a championship finale. And Ji-yeon has not strayed away from controversy with Wilhoit as well, because they later had a run-in at Phillip Island 2 seasons later when Wilhoit was fighting for a championship again. But with a new team, Crescent Enterprises, this is now their 2nd season of operation. With that Nexon sponsorship, Ji-yeon is looking for a 2nd title, looking to improve upon last season. It was a struggle last season. The Season 3 champion, the only rookie champion in WTSS history, the number 4 of Eugene DeMax in the Motul number 4 car. Wow, they were extremely fast on the 60 camp. Yuki Tamura is already back out there in the 60, so no harm, no foul. She's going to be on cold tires now, so she's going to be off cycle from everybody else on the racetrack in terms of improvements.
We actually had her out there on the backup car.
Yeah, the T car. Eugene DeMax, the Season 3 champion. And by the way, the only WTSS champion to score only 1 race victory all season. He's the only one to do so. It was just sheer, absolute consistency from his rookie season that won him the championship. Chris Dodd's still on the top now with a 1:17.937, the only driver in the sub 1 minute 18 second gap. Our Season 4 champion, I kind of spoiled it a little bit for those who are brand new to WTSS, but Tristan Wilhoit was your Season 4 champion. Here he is with GCI sponsorship. He hasn't had GCI sponsorship since Season 2, but they've returned on at Maverick. He's no longer got the Menards colors that he won that championship in. And he's now carrying GCI, a local company, to his home state of Alaska. He'll be carrying that throughout the United States and North America before we move on to the international races, where he will carry Mobile One pretty much the entire rest of the year from that point onwards. James Gibson has come into the pits for 4 fresh tires. That is crucial. Gibson is the first driver to come in to see if fresh tires can make it happen. Roberto Crown Jr., Brandon Krasta, Eugene DeMax, they're all in to come in after 6 push laps It's already, like I said, after first 4 or 5 laps, the tires start to wear and you no longer gain any performance. I think that's Scott Roush into the pits? No, that's Daniel Giroux into the pits. Speaking of champions as well, the Season 5 champion, Chris Dodd, like I said. And, of course, our reigning WTSS champion for Hamilton Autosports, Mark Nutt. Now, you may notice that is not the paint scheme that he won the championship. In fact, that is not the paint scheme that anybody else has worn other than Kip Pitt, a veteran of the series for the first 6 seasons, and has managed to finally choose retirement in his late age after starting to fall off towards the end of his career. And he has nominated his champion teammate Mark Nutt to run his car with his colors. So Mark Nutt carrying on the legacy of that Yogurt's number 57 now instead of 56. Everybody in the pits right now changing out tires, those who think that they have no more left to get out of the performance of those tires. Yuki Tamura is in a unique position actually right now. Somehow, some way, that early issue might actually put her in a position where her tires are at peak performance at the end of the session, where the track is fully rubbered in. Eugene DeMax, just after coming into the pits for a fresh set of tires, has the set of tires they just put on his car have a flat tire, actually, is what they're saying. So it's a delayed pit stop for the number 4 crew. And
wouldn't you know that before you put it on?
Well, they probably set the car down from the jacks and realized, oh shit, it's flat.
I mean, these cars weigh quite a bit. You sometimes don't know that there's a problem until they're on the car.
More people coming into the pits, but it might be too late to come in for a fresh set of tires now.
Yeah, I think you just have to chance out these.
Yeah, for sure. Some people are just continuing to push on out there, hoping that the track will gain enough grip for them to be able to overcome the tire deficit. No, I think they put the tire on and didn't realize until DeMax drove away from the pit box. I don't think they realized. Eugene DeMax will not get any more push laps out of his car. Those tires.
Oh, disaster for the number 4.
And DeMax, who is 9th quickest, really looks like he can take an aim at pole. No longer going to have a chance at that. At the front, it is Chris Dodd, Sebastian Van Dalen, Daniel Giroux, Allison Figueroa, and Cale Tescar Jr. Yes, you heard me right. 2nd through 6th are all rookies, with Jake Stevens in 6th. Of the 11 rookies in this field, 5 of them are in the top 6 positions, and 6 of them are in the top 10 positions, with Jeff McLennan in 10th place. Very strong rookie class here so far in the first qualifying session of the year. At the back of the field, bringing up the rear, is James Gibson, Arnie Nugroho, Bobby Frazier, Mark Nutt, the reigning champion, and Chanarong Wongzawat. Where is Yuki Tamura in the 60? That's the driver I want to keep an eye on, in my opinion. She just turned her fastest lap of the session last time by, and surely she's going to have more performance out of it here. 19th quickest on that lap. This lap doesn't find anything, but breaks about even. So I'd say she's still got another lap in those tires, lap or 2 in those tires to make something happen. William Duncan's crew have pulled him in. It's too late to make any sort. They're just making probably chassis adjustments before the cars go into impound before the race. Same with Mark Nutt as well.
No, I'm mid.
Chris Dodd not finding any improvement. Now these people are starting to make some practices towards long run pace at this point. Anybody out there? Sebastian Van Dalen finding time, but he's one of those drivers that came in for a fresh set of tires, I believe. Can he suddenly go up there and try and steal pole? We've got 40 seconds remaining before we hit standby, and everybody is basically allowed one more push lap from that point onwards. Golden stabbing on Wilhoit, practicing for the race right now, it looks like.
Not the move.
James Gibson has found an improvement after 8 laps on running, which means that car is just not handling good. If you can find an improvement on 8-lap-old tires, you're just not having a good time. He's still slowest. Standby has been struck. Everybody will be allowed to do one more lap. I think Yuki Tamura just got to the line in time to do another lap.
Yep. 4 seconds at the
18.6
line.
is still on the board for her.
So
Tail
this is going to.
Teskar Jr. is not going to find any more time. He did not have enough time to do another lap. Some of these guys just now coming across the line.
What a bad lap from the Max.
Yeah. Really rough day for him. I mean, at least he's 9th quickest. Roberto Crown Jr. got an 18.8, but might have gotten a little traffic at the end of his lap. No improvement.
Not many people are improving here.
No, I think this is also this is some setup shop hours at the end of this session.
There's been a lot of fall off on these tires.
Does anybody have any more time in them? Gibson jumps out of last. He's not last. It pushes Nugroho to the back of the field.
He's going to stay there.
Doesn't find an improvement. Tamura doesn't find an improvement. And Tescar's not going to get to the line in time to set his last lap, which means Chris Dodd will begin the opening round of WTSS Season 7 from the pole here at CTMP, a race he has never won before. He's aiming for it for the first time. On the front row with him is Sebastian Van Dalen. Then it's Daniel Giroux, the shocker, in 3rd place, with rookies filling 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th, and 10th. Roberto Crown Jr. in 14th, another notable. Tristan Wilhoit, a former winner here, in 11th. And that is your qualifying order. So you see the rest of the order right there. Second, bottom half of the field. Nugroho and Gibson bringing up the rear. But as we saw in the rookie shootout, just because you've got a car that's not great in qualifying doesn't mean you're not going to find something for the race. And in fact, that's where we're going to next. Chris Dodd on pole. 82 laps to figure out who wins it.